Here's a number that looks like good news and isn't. Grand Central Park in June 2026. The median sales price is $520,500, down 16.4% from just a year ago. If you're a buyer in that community, you might feel relieved. But if you're a seller, you might be a little panicked. Both reactions are based on a number that's telling you the wrong story. Because here's the part that shouldn't be possible. In that same month, the price per square foot went up nearly 11% to $185.89. The median price came down by 16.4%, and the price per square foot went up 11%. Those two things can't both be true unless something else is going on. And there is. Our team pulls the underlying MLS data every month, and we help roughly 200 families a year make a move all across Montgomery County. When we ran June's numbers for Grand Central Park, this jumped out as the clearest example we've seen all year of what we call a composition shift mirage. The median didn't drop because homes lost value. It dropped because the mix of homes that sold in June was smaller. That's it. That's the entire story. This video exists for one reason. We don't want you making a pricing decision off of a number that's technically accurate, but functionally misleading. Here's what it means, and here's what it costs you if you miss it. So think about it this way. Imagine a street with 10 houses. The median price on that street, if all 10 sell in the same month, lands somewhere right in the middle. Now imagine the following month, only the smaller homes sell. So the median price drops, not because any home lost value, but purely because the mix of what sold changed, right? That's exactly what happened in Grand Central Park in June. Now, before we go deeper on the data, here's why this community is worth paying attention to in the first place. Grand Central Park sits right off of I-45 in Conroe, which means you're roughly 40 minutes from downtown Houston, with significantly more space, newer construction, and a price point that's still attainable compared to what you pay closer to the city. The community itself was built around a central park. It has trails, a resort-style amenity center, pools, a huge lake, and the kind of neighborhood feel that's hard to find in a master plan community this size. It attracts a mix of families relocating from Houston and from out of state who want more home for their dollar, remote workers who don't need to be downtown every day, and buyers who want new construction quality without paying the Woodlands prices. So that's the community. Now here's what the data is actually telling you about it. The median sale price came in at $520,500. Down 16.5% from June 2025. If you saw that number in a headline, you'd think the market dropped hard. Sellers got crushed and buyers got a deal. But look at what else moved that month. The median square footage of homes that sold was 2,723 square feet, which is down just over 22% year over year. Smaller homes dominated June sales. Not cheaper homes per square foot, smaller homes. That's a critical distinction to make. And here's something worth saying out loud. Square footage is just one measure of a home's value. It does not tell you anything about the lot size, the finishes, the layout, or whether the kitchen was just renovated. Two different homes at 2,000 square feet in Grand Central Park can be worth very different amounts depending on everything else going on both inside and outside the home. Other examples could be a full outdoor kitchen with a pool. Maybe the home has a lot premium, maybe it backs to a green belt or sits on a cul-de-sac or a water view, quartz countertops, hardwood floors, a 3-car garage. All of those things have nothing to do with price per square foot. But since we are talking about price per square foot, it was up almost 11% year over year, and that is one of the strongest real per square foot gains recorded all across Montgomery County for the month. The median price fell 16.5% because smaller homes dominated sales. Price per square foot rose 11% because the underlying value of what sold actually went up. Both numbers are accurate. One tells you what's really happening to home values. Grand Central Park isn't the only place this happens. Composition shifts show up across Montgomery County every single month. In new construction communities, established neighborhoods, anywhere the size or price tier of what's selling shifts from one month to the next. So that's the reason we don't just hand clients a median price and call it a day. For every community that we track, we pull the price per square foot alongside the median. Because in a market as diverse as Montgomery County, the median alone will mislead you more often than it helps you. If your agent is only showing you the median price, you're missing half the picture. Not because they're wrong, but because one number was just never designed to carry that much weight on its own. Now, if you're relocating to the area and you just want more information that's going to save you time, we did create a Montgomery County relocation guide, and it puts together all kinds of information that's really difficult to find online. It's completely free. The link's in the description if you want to grab it. Now, if you're a buyer looking at Grand Central Park right now, the headline median might feel like an opening. Prices are down 16%. Maybe you negotiate hard, or maybe you wait for more price drops. But here's the problem. The price per square foot is at $186 and still going up. Let me make this concrete. A buyer comes into Grand Central Park. They've been watching the market. They see that the median price is down over 16%. They feel pretty good about it. They think the market's soft. They have a lot of leverage. So they probably submit an offer that's quite a bit below asking price. And it feels reasonable based on everything they've read. But the offer on their dream home gets rejected. The home closes with another buyer at 98% of list price, because that's what Grand Central Park homes were actually doing in June. So the buyer is confused. The data said prices were down, so what happened? What happened is they were negotiating off of the median in a market where the median was lying to them. The price per square foot was rising. Sellers were not desperate, and the buyer who understood that walked away with the home. And that's not even a hypothetical situation. That's the difference between reading the right number and reading the wrong one. And here's what you're really weighing. Will we get this right? Yes, but only if you're reading the right number. If you're a seller in Grand Central Park, the headline is working against you too, but in a different way. Your neighbor mentions the market is soft. You start to wonder if you need to drop your price before you even list your home, or whether this is even the right time to sell. But your price per square foot is solid at $186, up 11% from a year ago. Homes are closing at 98% of asking price. The market is telling you something completely different from the headline. A seller who prices off the county narrative instead of the actual per square foot data is leaving real money on the table. Not a rounding error, real money on a real transaction. Because of a number that wasn't wrong, it was just answering a different question than the one you needed answered. If you take one thing from this video, make it this. In a market with composition shifts, median price is a mixed sensitive signal. Price per square foot is the clean read. Here's what the full picture looks like for Grand Central Park in June. Price per square foot, $185.89, up 10.88% year over year. That's your value signal. Average days on market was 80.2 days. That tells you how long homes are sitting before they sell. The months of inventory, 4.56 months. So think of that like a grocery store shelf. If the shelf has 4.5 months of product on it, assuming that no other goods are added to the shelves, that means at the current pace of sales, it would take 4.5 months to sell everything available right now. So that's a balanced shelf, or market in our case, not a clearance rack or a shortage. The sale to list ratio is 98%, which means sellers are getting nearly every dollar they ask for. Now, price per square foot is a better signal than median price, but it doesn't tell you everything either. Remember things like, is there an outdoor kitchen, a pool, a lot premium, or upgraded features? All of those things affect the value, and none of them show up in a price per square foot calculation. Price per square foot removes the size distortion, and that's a significant improvement, but it still needs a set of eyes that knows what they're looking at. That's what we're here for. Grand Central Park is not a market in distress. It's a market just being misread. Our Montgomery County relocation guide breaks down a ton of extra information that you need to know before moving to this county. The link's down below. It's completely free. And if this kind of headline versus reality breakdown is useful to you, watch this video next.